1950 UK 1 penny coin. Today, we're putting this myth to the test. We'll separate the numismatic truth from the online fiction, explore why the 1950 penny is indeed special, but most importantly, we'll reveal the actual coins that have commanded millions at auction. Let's dig in. First, let's look at the coin itself. The 1950 UK 1 penny, from the reign of King George VI. It features a portrait of the king on the obverse, and on the reverse, the timeless image of Britannia seated with a lighthouse in the background, a design by Christopher Ironside. The year 1950 was an interesting time for British coinage. Due to a massive surplus of pennies from the war years, there was no need to strike any for general circulation in the UK. So, if you were living in Britain in 1950, you would not have seen this coin in your everyday change. However, a limited number of these coins were produced, a mintage of just 240,000. And here's the crucial detail. They were struck exclusively for British colonies overseas, not for domestic use. This makes the 1950 penny what collectors call a low mintage coin, which certainly gives it more value than, say, a penny from the 1960s, of which hundreds of millions were made. A circulated 1950 penny can be worth anywhere from £10 to £70, depending on its condition. An uncirculated, pristine example from a collector's set might fetch even more. That's a great return for a penny, but it's a far cry from a million. So, where does the myth come from? The £1,000,000 penny is not the 1950 penny, but a case of mistaken identity. People often confuse a genuine rarity with a coin that is merely scarce. When we talk about pennies worth millions, we are not talking about something you'd find in your change. We're talking about a numismatic unicorn, a coin so rare it is almost mythical. We are talking about the 1933 George V penny. The story of the 1933 penny is a tale of extraordinary luck and historical context. Just like in 1950, in 1933, the Royal Mint had a large supply of pennies and saw no need to produce any more for general circulation. However, there was a tradition at the time to bury complete coin sets under the foundation stones of new public buildings. It is believed that only 6 or 7 of these pennies were ever struck. They were not for public use, but for these ceremonial sets or for official museum collections. One of these coins was stolen from a church in Leeds, only to be recovered. Another was famously sold at auction for an astronomical sum. One of these legendary coins, a testament to its extreme scarcity, sold for an astonishing £72,000, approximate $90,000, back in 2016. While not a million, it's one of the highest prices ever paid for a single penny. It's the coin that launched 1,000 searches through change jars, a search for something that was never there in the first place. So, if you're holding a 1933 penny, it's almost certainly a fake, a replica, or a coin from another country. The genuine articles are all well documented and are safely in museums or known private collections. But wait! What about a British coin that has actually sold for millions? That title doesn't go to a penny at all, but to a coin of immense historical weight and artistic beauty. The record for the most valuable British coin sold at auction belongs to the 1937 Edward VIII gold £5 pattern. This is a coin that captures a moment in history that never fully happened. Struck as a prototype for the coinage of a king who chose to abdicate, it is an incredibly rare piece of a reign that never was. There are only a handful of these coins in existence. When one came up for auction in 2021, its rarity, beauty, and incredible backstory led to a winning bid of £1.75 million, approximate $2.28 million, making it the most expensive British coin ever sold. So, when you see a headline promising a £1,000,000 penny, it's most likely a sensationalized version of the truth, often confusing one rare coin with another. So, let's bring it back to the 1950 penny. While it's certainly a more valuable coin than many people realize, it is by no means a lottery ticket. Its value is in its story, a piece of British history that was sent abroad, a beautiful coin from a post-war era. The real $1,000,000 pennies are mythical, or they are ancient pieces of gold that were never meant for your pocket. The coins that are truly worth a fortune are usually one-of-a-kind prototypes, extreme errors, or unique historical artifacts that only exist in a few known examples. The real joy of collecting is in the hunt, in the story, and in the discovery of history in your own hands. So, go ahead and check that change jar. You might not find £1,000,000, but you might just find a coin with a story worth telling. Thanks for watching.